Suffolk.
Or Suffolk.
Sarah Lilly at breakfast.
BBC Radio Suffolk.
Suffolk is entering a team of bell ringers in an annual competition against other counties next weekend. They'll be competing for the Ridgman Trophy on Saturday at a church in Essex. To tell us more, I'm joined by Catherine Salter, the ringing master for the Suffolk Guild of Ringers. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning.
Good morning. So what are the origins of the trophy?
The trophy was set up by William Ridgman, who was a lay reader and bell ringer and president of the Ely Diocesan Association. And it was set up to encourage more 10 bell and leading on to that, beyond that, 12 bell ringing. It was first held in 1988 and actually Suffolk first won it in 1989.
Oh.
It is for territorial bell ringing associations that border the Ely Diocese, and actually including the Ely Diocese there are 9 of us.
Okay. And how is it judged?
It's judged by a couple of experienced bell ringers who will be listening very hard to what we all ring and deciding who is best.
Fantastic. And the rules have been tweaked slightly, haven't they, because of COVID? How have they changed?
Normally you would be expected to bring your entire team, and it would only be a team from your association that can compete. Because of COVID, and obviously until the morning we don't know if all 10 of us can turn up, we can borrow up to 3 ringers from a neighbouring association to make up our band if we need to.
Right.
And there's some slight tweaking over who can hold the trophy depending on how complete the final band is.
Okay. And you're going to be ringing on Saturday. What's the actual piece like?
The method is called Grant Cicatas, so it's a 9 bell method, and bell 10 will just be ringing in 10th place continuously. It's quite a musical touch. It's got several nice runs of the back bells together or the front bells together or backwards. It's pretty musical. I've been through it, so it should be quite nice to hear.
Brilliant.
And we're all ringing the same piece.
Good stuff. And so you were elected as the Guild Ringing Master in April. So tell us about that role.
It's like the senior bell ringing position in the Suffolk Guild of Ringers. Fundamentally, it's about organising bell ringing, particularly at guild events, and about driving forward recruitment, retention and training of ringers. But obviously, as you'll appreciate, the last 6 months haven't been quite how it might have been previously.
No. Did it how did the pandemic impact the bell ringing?
We had only actually been able to return to normal bell ringing for most people in July of this year because the social distancing rules precluded it.
Right. Okay.
So it's been quite challenging. People have been ringing virtually on some of the electronic means that it's possible to sort of gather together via Zoom and something called Ringing Room and ring in pretend towers, but that's not quite the same.
Yeah. So does that have an impact on how confident you're feeling about the competition?
Yeah, we're being a bit more relaxed about it. It's been really difficult to sort of build up. The competition was designed to sort of encourage and nurture ringers through to ring on 10 when actually, unusually, we're all out of practice.
Yeah, of course.
And we're all getting back in practice. So it's going to be different. But it will be really good to just do something normal and hold a competition because a lot of the bell ringing competitions have not taken place for the last 18 months.
Yeah.
So it's quite good. And certainly when we held our own local association competition back in September, people really embraced being able to get back together and compete.
Yeah, it'll be lovely, won't it? But as you say, just a relief for you all to be back together. Now, something I wanted to ask you about, Catherine. There's a plan for churches around the country to ring bells just before the start of the Environment Conference in Glasgow. It's Ring Out for the Climate. It's an idea that came from Edward Gildier, who's an adventurer, an environmentalist, and an eco-church team leader for his local church. Simon Linford is the president of the Central Council of Bell Ringers, and this is what he said about it.
It started off feeling like it was sort of political. Then it was backed by the church and Bishop Graham, and we realised that it meant a lot to the church to have church bells ringing for climate change. So we've got behind this one.
So, Catherine, do you think there'll be much take up of this in Suffolk?
There certainly will be some take up, because some towers had already approached us as a guild to see what we were doing. We're not formally organising it as a Suffolk Guild, but support people who wish to ring for it. Okay. So there will be bands that feel passionately about it and can gather enough ringers to be able to ring, which will be great, because bells obviously ring out for a lot of major events. It's a national sort of celebration, commemoration.
Brilliant. Well, look, thank you for that. Good luck for Saturday, and I hope it goes really, really well. You have to let us know how you get on, will you?
We will do.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat. Catherine Salter, the ringing master for the Suffolk Guild of Ringers. Now, a bit of business to clear up.